It's Carlos Zeron, and I'm part of the Connected in Crisis project. This is a disaster relief system that uses QR code integrated wristbands, and there is an accompanying secure web app. So, this app is supposed to be a disaster response system that's supposed to help families locate loved ones during emergencies. It integrates a web-based evacuee lookup portal with QR-enabled wristbands that allows shelter staff to assign, update, and manage evacuee records. By scanning a wristband, authorized users can securely access or modify an evacuee's information, while loved ones can perform lookups through a secure public interface. This system is lightweight, cost effective, and designed to function reliably in real world disaster scenarios without the need for complex hardware or cloud infrastructure. Our problem statement. So, during natural disasters, families are often separated, and evacuees can become unaccounted for due to disrupted communication and disorganized tracking. Our system addresses this challenge by providing a secure, accessible platform where shelter staff can manage evacuee information and loved ones can quickly locate missing individuals through QR enabled wristbands and a centralized web portal. The web app has many different functionalities. Here's a screenshot of it. You can add evacuees. So, well, as an admins can add evacuees using name, date of birth, and assigned shelter. And this data syncs to the database and is accessible through the QR or info-based search portal. Admins can also add a shelter. So shelters are registered into the system via a simple admin form, and each is linked to evacuee records, right? So you can add a shelter by including the shelter name and inputting the address. There is an add shelter button, and it will be in the system, and evacuees can be assigned to this shelter. There's a user dashboard with QR codes. So there's a demo dashboard that displays both assigned and unassigned QR codes. Unassigned codes trigger a secure binding form. Evacuee is assigned a QR code printed on a wristband. QR scanning links to a secure page with shelter location details. The public portal allows loved ones to locate evacuees using name and date of birth. Optional PIN protects private records. So, in the case that an evacuee may not want to be searched up by anyone, or maybe by, they want to be searched up by specific people. They may choose to have a PIN that will allow only people who know the PIN to search up their status or location. They can also, admins can also delete an evacuee, so they can remove evacuees, and it requires you to confirm their name and date of birth. Just to make sure that they actually want to delete that data. So our wristbands are durable, waterproof silicone bands, and they're designed for use in emergency and disaster environments. The band has a printed QR code that is generated using a unique randomly generated identifier token. And this QR code links directly to a specific route on the Connected in Crisis application and allows secure access to the evacuee's assigned record. The QR code can be printed on a laminated sticker or embedded into a laser etched tag that is attached to the band. And these wristbands are low cost, they're easy to mass produce, and require no power, Bluetooth, or network connectivity. Their sole function is to provide fast scannable access to evacuee information using any device with a camera and internet browser. This approach eliminates the need for electronics or batteries, that making the wristbands highly reliable in rough conditions while still enabling digital record access and updates. So we have a lot of cybersecurity measures in place. This is the cybersecurity project, so this is maybe the main focus here. So we have user input, sanitation, and validation, meaning that any searches that a user might make are validated, so that there's no messing around with like injections or anything, as well as PIN-based data access. We have encrypted data transmission between devices. We have role-based access control for admins, and we have a log, right? So we can monitor user and admin activity. So this is kind of how the web app and the wristband work. So we have a QR code. You scan the code. You enter evacuee data, and then a family member views the shelter info. So originally, our system was designed to use Bluetooth Low Energy beacons and a cloud-based infrastructure via AWS to track evacuees in real time. Wristbands would communicate with local beacons, which would then relay data to the cloud for centralized access and analytics. While powerful, this model introduced challenges. It relied heavily on hardware deployment, consistent internet access, and added technical complexity, all of which can be difficult to maintain during a disaster. We've since shifted to a more direct and reliable approach. Now, each wristband includes a QR code that links directly to our secured web application, currently hosted via GitHub, where evacuee information can be entered, updated, or retrieved. This system removes the need for booking infrastructure or cloud syncing, reduces cost and complexity, and remains fully accessible from any device with internet access. It also keeps the door open for local hosting and field environments, making it more practical and resilient in real world disaster scenarios. Okay, so that's the PowerPoint, that's the presentation. Um, Here is the poster board. If you allow me 1 second. So this is the poster board. And it basically goes over everything that we just spoke about. We also have here the risk matrix. So I'm going to kind of go over some of these things, right? So, of course, because this is a very sensitive web application, and sensitive in the sense that it's very important. It's going to be used during times of crisis, disaster, and it's important that this application is up and running frequently. So, so in this chart, you can see that we have the occurrence and the severity of some of our risks. Um, and I'm kind of gonna go over what some of these are and why they are so bad. So we have a DDoS attack. So a DDoS attack may cause downtime during a disaster. So a DDoS attack is when any machines flood a website with requests, overloading the server and making the site unavailable for users. For the Connected in Crisis platform, this is catastrophic risk because it would prevent users from finding loved ones during an emergency. It is listed as a frequent risk because public-facing websites like this one are common targets of DDoS attacks. Another frequent one that we have is repeat invalid search attempts. So enumeration attacks happen when attackers repeatedly use search fields to guess valid records, such as evacuee names, through trial and error. This is a frequent risk because the search form can be abused if not monitored. Unauthorized admin level access. So this is likely and catastrophic. This risk occurs when attackers exploit weak authentication to gain full administrator control. The use of hard-coded credentials makes the risk likely and catastrophic. We have misconfigured file permissions. Improper file permissions may expose sensitive files or allow unauthorized modifications. This is likely because mistakes in configuration happen often, and this is a major risk. We have brute force or automated scraping of sheltered data. A brute force attack tries many password combinations to break into accounts, while scraping automates the collection of sensitive data. Without controls, this is a likely and moderate risk. So now we have insecure admin login. So a weak admin login mechanism allows attackers to bypass authentication. Without secure login policies, the risk remains moderate. We have SQL injection attacks. SQL injection happens when attackers inject harmful SQL code into database queries, while parameterized queries help. Missing invalidation makes this a major risk. We have no backups or delayed database sync. Without backups, data loss from corruption or deletion could be permanent. This is moderate in frequency, but major in impact. Now we have unlikely risk. So we have mass shelter data tampering. Tampering with large portions of data could mislead evacuees and responders. This is unlikely, but catastrophic. Insider threat attack. An insider threat occurs when someone with legitimate access misuses their privilege. This is unlikely, but has severe consequences. Then we have a cross-site scripting vulnerability in search results. So cross-site scripting, or XSS, lets attackers inject scripts that run in user browsers. Unsanitized outputs make this an unlikely but moderate risk. typo and shelter information. So this is user error. Human errors like typos can confuse users and slow response efforts. This is unlikely and minor. We have rare risks. So we have breach of all evacuee data due to server exploit. Full data breach exposes sensitive personal information, violating privacy and trust. This is rare but catastrophic. We have database file corruption, uh, which is bad because that can mess up our entire database. We wouldn't want that. But that is a major risk, although rare. And then we have server downtime from host, meaning something happens on our end that goes down, and it is rare, but it is a moderate risk because or at least depending on how long the system is down. What else? We also have, we can look at the poster again, right? So our problem is that during disaster evacuations, families often become separated, making a logical challenge to track evacuees. There's a lack of real-time, scalable technology to both monitor individuals and provide emotional reassurance through communication. Current systems rely heavily on paper forms, verbal reports, or unlinked digital platforms. Communication is often limited to phone calls or messages, which are unreliable during large-scale emergencies. Our solution replaces these methods with QR-enabled wristbands linked to a secure web app, giving families fast, direct access to loved one shelter status. Requirements here. So we have durable QR code wristbands, a web app with evacuee lookup, an admin portal for shelter staff, user login and role-based access, end-to-end encryption, end-to-end data encryption, input citation and parameterized queries, responsive interface for mobile/desktop. So our implementation. So the website serves as a gateway for managing and tracking people during emergency situations. The main purpose is to identify and assist evacuees affected by disaster through a secure, globally accessible platform. Core features include evacuee lookup, an ad portal, user login, and QR code integration. Families can stay connected by searching for an evacuee's full name and date of birth, which returns the shelter location the person has been registered. The admin portal allows shelter staff to add new evacuees, assign shelter locations, or remove evacuees once they are safely reunited. Each evacuee receives a wristband containing a QR code linked to their record. When scanned, the QR code opens a secure page on the web application where authorized users can view or update the evacuee's information. All data is encrypted and stored securely, and the system is designed to function with minimal infrastructure, making it practical for rapid deployment in disaster response scenarios. Our system design. So the system includes QR wristbands with unique ID tokens, a globally accessible web app hosted on Render, admin interface for shelter staff to add, update, and manage records, secure database with hashed pins and role-based access, QR scan page for assigning or viewing evacuee info instantly. And it's accessible from any internet-connected device. So we also have a summary here. So we developed a secure evacuee tracking system using scannable QR code spans linked to a globally accessible web platform, created a web application that allowed loved ones to check on evacuee shelter status by entering their name and date of birth, built an admin dashboard to enable shelter staff to add, update, and remove evacuee records and assign QR codes to wristbands. We implemented hash pin protection, input sanitation, and parameterized queries to protect against injection and unauthorized access. But it's focused on simplicity, accessibility, and offline deployment potential to support disaster response operations with minimal infrastructure. We designed the system to replace outdated paper-based methods and improve coordination between evacuees, shelter teams, and families. So here is the web application. This is the home screen. This is the first screen you'll see. We get here, and you can see that immediately the first choice is the first option is to search for someone by name and date of birth. And this is important because, in cases like these, I'm sure that the family members or loved ones want to get straight to the point and they want to find who they are looking for. So in the case that we are looking for someone, let's say have a name, let's say Alex Stone. We want to find where Alex is. We know his date of birth, 2002, or not 2002, 1990. You can hit search. See here that we have, his location. So we have shelter A, right? And if we know shelter A's location, or address, then we can, we can locate them. We know where they are. Down here we have an admin login. Put in our credentials. They're very secure. Um, you can see here we have a few options. So we can add an evacuee, we can add a shelter, and we can delete an evacuee. So in this case, I am going to add a shelter. So let's say I'm going to call a shelter FIU. Uh, for simplicity purposes, I'm going to use 8th Street as the address because that makes it a little simpler. 8th Street, you can see down here we have confirmation that this worked successfully. And what I can do here is I can add myself as an evacuee using name, date of birth, and then we can input the shelter name. So we can add an evacuee. So I just added myself. We have confirmation down here. Go back home. We can search my name, date of birth, search, shows exactly where we are. So that's how that works. As a user, you can log in as well and put in your credentials. Have here are QR code demos, so we can kind of demonstrate like how this would work. So you would scan any of these QR codes and it'll take you to the associated person. So this QR code is linked to Alex Stone. We can see the information, the shelter, and everything um, in here. Space. I accidentally put a space, which is actually a good example of input validation. That it's looking for certain criteria when we try to log in. So we can actually assign a QR code to somebody as well. So we can assign a QR code to, let's say, Taylor Ray 2012, or sorry, 21st, 2012. She is in shelter D. We can send this QR code to her. And now we can scan this code and it'll take us to her information, which will look like this. See Taylor Ray information, all that good stuff. Finally, something else we can do here is that we can actually delete evacuees. As mentioned previously, this requires that you confirm the name and date of birth just to make sure that you actually want to delete this person from the system. Just that. Evacuee deleted. We go back and we search. We'll see that I don't show up in any shelter. I'll still be in the system, but I won't show up as being in any particular shelter. So that is the web app.